As we established residence in Elkhart, we looked for a church. And the first inclination was, hey, there's a Christian church here. That sounds like the right place to go. I think I've mentioned before that Donna's grandparents helped build the Christian church at Conway Springs, Kansas. She was a member of that church when we started dating, and I attended church services, and particularly at times when they had a youth program, attended church with her in the evenings there. But it didn't take long to find out that the Christian church in Elkhart was not a Disciples of the Christ Christian church like we were used to, both in Conway Springs, at the University Place Christian Church there next to the campus where we attended later, and where we had attended while I was a college student, played softball on their teams and so on. This church in Elkhart didn't seem like a Christian church at all. So we looked around a little bit and talked to people that we were getting acquainted with, and it kind of sounded like the Methodist Church and Reverend Raleigh Wells might just be the right place. And we'd been in a Methodist church at Hardner, even though the minister was a critic of mine. We thought the church as a whole, what it believed in and its procedures and so on, quite consistent with what we felt was good Christian church. So we visited. Gee, right off the bat, we felt comfortable. We were made welcome, which always helps, of course, but we were made welcome in any church that we visited. Raleigh Wells was an older man, though, and he had a special touch. He kind of felt like God in presence, was in presence when you were in his presence. And his messages and the content of the Sunday school class messages and the teachers in the Sunday school classes and so on really felt at home. Home's always nice. And that in spite of the fact that one of our fellow church members there was Mrs. Hitchcock, who, after I had talked to her about Butch nearly running over me, I didn't feel was particularly a fan of mine. And that business of trying to get new building built the opposition to it was being pretty much led by Willard Mayberry. And Willard Mayberry was somebody. He was, well, they said he had been the personal secretary for Alf Landon when he tried to become the president of the United States. And he was a politician with local, statewide, and some national involvement. Quite a man. Didn't make any difference. There was none of that political stuff got into the church, and I liked that. I don't know just exactly how it was done, but that was nice because it got pretty hot, as you'll hear more about later on. Politically, it got a little hot on that issue of where and what to build. Well, anyway, the whole thing was going very well in terms of church. And you go to church for a relationship with God, and it sure helps if you have a nice relationship with man, particularly the men and women in the church, and we had that. The church itself was impressive. Boy, it sat on a corner and had the biggest old steps, and the entryway is just plain nice. Nice on the outside, nice on the inside. And it was, their Sunday school class programs and so on really involved our children and had good leadership in them. It just was a good fit. We were very comfortable in the Elkhart church and felt like we were ministered to and permitted to be a part of a brotherhood in Christ.